Hey, meet our protagonists, Scarlett and Donatella Dragna, two sisters abandoned by their mom and left with their world-class A-plus abusive father, who also happens to be the governor of Trisda, where they stay. Their dad, Governor Dragna, is the kind of guy who probably yells at waiters for bringing his water at the wrong temperature. He believes in discipline, which in his case means punishing one sister when the other messes up. So, parenting level? Disastrous. Enter Julian, a dashing young stranger who pays them a visit and is totally not sketchy. He jokes around with the sisters until they get caught by their governor father. And Tella, being the younger, more chaotic sister, blames Scarlett for getting caught, knowing fully well that their dad, of course, thinks fair punishment means hurting the other sister. Because logic. Again, parenting 101, folks. Anyway, Scarlett finally gets a golden ticket to CARAVAL, a magical, mysterious event she's dreamed of her whole life. But wait, she's engaged to a totally boring but safe count who her dad arranged for her, so obviously she decides not to go. No worries though, because Tella, being the chaotic force of nature that she is, says, "Nah, mamacita," and literally takes matters into her own hands by, surprise, kidnapping her own sister. Can someone say best sisters ever? Scarlett wakes up, sees Julian rowing a boat on the high seas, and instead of freaking out, she just accepts her fate. At this point, honestly, she should start carrying around a sign that says, "Help me." But wait, plot twist, it wouldn't be an adventure if things went smoothly, because the boat, it starts sinking. Of course it does. Nothing says whimsical fun like almost drowning. So now they have to swim to shore like contestants in Survivor Fantasy Edition. And Tella, she's already MIA. Fantastic. Let's sigh. Anyways, welcome to CARAVAL. Hope you like gaslighting, because Scarlett and Julian finally make it there. On their way, they come across a weird guy who seems to have a portal to Tella. Scarlett is tempted, but she doesn't take his offer. Anyway, Julian convinces her to join the game. And because making rational choices is not this girl's strong suit, she says yes. To CARAVAL, the only game where no one tells you what's real, everybody lies, and trust issues come free with your ticket. Again, Scarlett choosing to do this, making terrible choices, is this girl's brand. Anyways, step 1, find a place to stay. Easy, right? Nope, they have to reach the inn before sunrise, but of course, they fail. Scarlett has to beg the innkeeper to let Julian in and finally gets there by telling her that they're both Legend's special guests. And because the story is legally required to include every YA trope, they end up having to share a bed. But don't worry, alternating nights because propriety. Scarlett starts hearing her missing sister's voice. She follows it only for Tella to scream at her to go away. Classic sibling energy. And then, because the story is just hoarding love interests at this point, whilst Scarlett is sitting in the hallway, a hot, cool dude named Dante offers Scarlett his bed, because random acts of chivalry are totally normal when you're playing a mysterious, potentially deadly game. When Scarlett wakes up, she visits Tella's room. It's a mess. Scarlett finds an item that didn't belong to Tella, a picture of a castle. Then after that, Scarlett and Julian head to the castle to find the next. Scarlett meets a fortune teller who drops some vague, ominous hints, and he's called Nigel. He tells her that Julian is the most attractive guy that she has ever seen, which, wow, just wow. And he also tells her about a guy with a heart made of black that she must follow. Scarlett hears screaming coming from some tunnels beneath the castle, and then Scarlett meets up with Julian again, and apparently he's gotten her earrings back for her, but is injured though. That said, Scarlett drinks something that makes her see in black and white. And guess what? Dante just happens to have a big old black heart tattoo. Real subtle. Anyway, later, Scarlett buys a potion that protects her against her greatest fear. What could possibly go wrong, right? She meets up with someone called Ayako who has a journal that is still in color. Scarlett is intrigued and she walks with Ayako when she comes across a carousel and she offers to show Scarlett her journal for a price. Scarlett will need to buy 2 dresses from a shop, and the price for these is 2 truths or 4 days of your life. Scarlett doesn't answer one of the questions honestly, so she has to give up 2 days of her life right there and then. So Dante now has to help Scarlett back to the hotel. Oh, and Julian literally gives her a day of his life. Romantic or deeply disturbing, you decide. Anyway, it's big reveal time now because Scarlett dreams about her grandparents when they were younger, and she figures out that her grandmother, the one who hyped her up about this CARAVAL thing in the first place, yeah, her name was Annalise, as in she was probably Legend's Anna. But that's crazy though, because Scarlett also sees Legend's face and it's Julian? But people are gossiping about Rosa, the girl who died during CARAVAL one year who was apparently engaged to Dante. So obviously when Scarlett wakes up, she tries to leave, but she sees her father and quickly hides. She then comes across Dante's literal body and Julian standing over him. But as if that were not enough, Julian tells Scarlett that Rosa was his sister and he was working with Dante to avenge her death. Julian then talks about Scarlett's grandmother and says Legend wants to punish her descendants by breaking up their marriages. And he admits he knew one of the sisters would be used in the game if he brought them to CARAVAL. I smell a rat. Let this just be on record. Anyway, Scarlett just randomly receives her dress, which she thinks is a clue, but then she immediately comes across a man in a top hat who turns out to be her fiancé, Count Darcy. Her father arrives, and her and Julian escape on a boat during a thunderstorm. Unfortunately, Scarlett's father catches up to them, and she ends up pleading for him to let Julian go. He does, but only after scarring Julian. The Count and Scarlett go to the bedroom, and our girl is like, and throws the protection potion on him. See that? We knew it would come in handy. Anyway, Scarlett thinks the clue about the leap of faith is leading her to a balcony. So she gets together with Julian and they go out during the day to jump through a portal in the middle of the carousel, where, lo and behold, Legend, like the real Legend, is on the other side of the portal. And he asks Scarlett to choose between seeing either Julian or Tella again. She just flat out refuses. Then all of a sudden, Julian appears, and it turns out that he has been working with Legend this entire time. Betrayal? Maybe. Expected? Absolutely. And of course, Legend kills him because reasons? Oh, and Tella, she is suddenly engaged to Legend because nothing spices up trauma like a surprise engagement. So the update on that is that Julian dies. Like, really dies, as in super dead. Until he's not, because plot. Meanwhile, Tella in peak Tella fashion throws herself off a balcony when their father arrives. But don't worry, she's not really dead either. Legend makes Governor Dragna leave. And then Scarlett realizes that this guy isn't even really Legend. It's just some random guy pretending. He shows Scarlett letters between Tella and Legend, which show that Tella got the invites to CARAVAL in an attempt to get the girls away from their father. Oh, and guess what? No one actually died. That's right. Julian, Dante, and Tella are all totally fine because nothing in CARAVAL is ever real, except for Scarlett's emotional damage. That's very real. Oy vey. Scarlett talks to Julian for a bit, who says he hasn't aged since he became a CARAVAL actor, and that Legend is his brother. Meanwhile, Tella receives a note that says her mother would be proud, and that Tella needs to keep up her end of the bargain. So what did we learn? Nothing is real, everyone was lying, and nobody actually dies in this story. Oh, and Tella made a deal with Legend to get them away from their father, so it was all one big overcomplicated rescue mission. And that is it, folks. Wham, bam, bibbidi bam. This is where CARAVAL ends. That didn't rhyme, but okay. Anyway, stay tuned for more chaos in the next book because that is CARAVAL, a place where logic goes to die, emotions are manipulated, and sisters will do literally anything except communicate like normal people. Until next time, stay skeptical, stay sarcastic, and don't drink mysterious potions or trust anyone wearing a top hat. Goodbye, folks!